It's October the 28th, 2023, in Paris, World Cup final day. And I cannot quite believe that I'm here. And thank you very much for supporting me on this wild ride across France. I'm Tim, this is Egg Chasers, and I had to come for a bit of a walk this morning. I wasn't in bed till, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. But I woke up only a few hours afterwards, like a kid on Christmas morning. It's not lost on me how lucky I am to be in Paris today, be going to the World Cup final. I'm going to take you with me and soak up as much flavour and atmosphere on the pitch and off it as I can, because I just love this sport, and I'm so grateful for the support on the channel. If you haven't already, I hope that I earn your subscription, and I hope you'll give the video a thumbs up, because that really helps spread the word. And I can't quite believe where we're at now with Egg Chasers. It feels like we've got a community here, and a community that what I love the most about it is you go and look into the comments of any video and there is just respect, there's love for the sport. That is above all else, and that's what's really special about rugby, and that's what the 7 weeks in France have just brought to light in an unbelievable way, and hopefully I've captured a bit of, is that rugby's more than the 80 minutes on the field. It means that you can go anywhere in the world, and if you've got rugby in common, that's enough. You can go to a bar of your local rugby club anywhere on earth, and there'll be friendly, welcoming people that'll sit with you. And it's that's been my experience. I came out here on my own to France, and I've just had some unbelievable experiences. And I can't quite believe how the channel's grown. Look at where it sits now, and to those that have been following since January when I got started, you've seen how much it's grown. It's doubled during the World Cup. I was sitting at 2,000 subscribers at the start of the Six Nations. It's just been an absolutely wild ride, so I'm so grateful. I didn't even know, by the way, that super thanks was a thing. I've had some people donating super thanks, just saying, get yourself a beer, Tim, thanks for the content and all the rest of it. Believe me, when the final video is done tonight, and I'm sure there'll be a bar or two that's open somewhere in the middle of Paris, I will have a cold one, and thank you to those people. I really appreciate it. Let's talk about the actual rugby though. Well, no, actually, let's talk about the rivalry. Because the previous video where I was speaking to some fans last night outside the Stade de France, a lot of fans who will be there tonight as well, I was trying to sort of find out about this rivalry, and I think the title of the video was The Greatest Rivalry in Rugby. I'm going to revise that and say it's the greatest rivalry in sport, because as I was walking here to the Louvre today, I was thinking, what are the great rivalries in sport? You've got the LA Lakers against the Boston Celtics. You've got Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus. You've got Rangers, Celtic, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Boca Juniors, River Plate in football. You've got Djokovic, Nadal, Federer in tennis, Navratilova and Evert in tennis. You've got, what would it have been, Williams and McLaren back in the day in Formula One. But I think this rivalry, and there'll be others as well, the Yankees and the Red Sox, there's loads of others, but this is the one, I think. And I think what's special about this rivalry is how long it's been running and how deep the roots are, because this isn't about any individuals, this is about, and it isn't even about two teams, it's about two nations. And what I've really learned over this World Cup, chatting to loads of New Zealand fans and South Africans, is the deep respect they have for the opponents. Yeah, it's deep respect. That's why they care so much about this rivalry. It's not about getting one up and having the most titles or anything like that. It's more than that. It's about overcoming someone that you respect so much. That's what makes New Zealand versus South Africa such a special fixture. And so, yeah, I'm going to be honoured to be in the stadium tonight. And when I think about myself as a kid, like I say, I was basically the first person in my family to play rugby. Just got taken along to Newbury Rugby Club at age of 6. And it's just given me so much. And yeah, and I remember when Mandela got, well, I don't really remember, I vaguely remember when Mandela got released from prison. I remember my mum getting me up out of bed and saying, come and watch the news, this is important. I was really young, but she wanted me to kind of have this memory of this moment. I didn't appreciate it then, just like in '95 when Francois Pienaar and Nelson Mandela stood there with the Springbok jerseys on together. I didn't understand at the time what a significant moment that was. But, Now, of course, and in years since, I can see what an incredible moment that was that went beyond rugby. And that's a special part of the history of that fixture as well. And also another memory I have, just from a New Zealand perspective, I remember the first VHS videotape I ever got addicted to and just watched every single day. And it was a VHS of the 1987 Rugby World Cup, like highlights video. And ingrained in my memory are Wayne Shelford being an absolute, just one of the hardest men ever to play the sport. Sean Fitzpatrick lifting that trophy, that length of the field try that John Kirwin scored in the first game against Italy. How exciting Fiji were. What did they play? That quarter-final they lost to France. That Serge Blanco try in the corner. But overwhelmingly, it was like an unbelievable New Zealand team. One of the most dominant rugby teams in history, and that was at the very first World Cup. And then they've backed that up since. And yeah, this is the greatest two rugby nations, and the history is so deep. And when you think about the stories that are on the line in this World Cup final, what are the stories? Well, for New Zealand, redemption. Do you know what? I'm gonna walk and talk, I think, for a minute. Bear with me. Redemption for New Zealand. Just gonna put my backpack on, and then let's have a little stroll. Show you a bit of the Louvre while we're having a natter. Redemption is on the line, because you think about Sam Cane. I was talking about Sean Fitzpatrick having lifted that trophy. The only other New Zealand captain to have lifted the trophy, the great Richie McCaw. For Sam Cane to be alongside Sean Fitzpatrick and Richie McCaw, given the criticism that he's had as captain for New Zealand, and hey, he hasn't been immune to it on this channel. I've given him credit. I think he's been brilliant this year. But I have even questioned during the World Cup whether Ardie Savia should be the captain, and would that be better for New Zealand all round. The redemption arc that he is on would be incredible, and the same goes for Ian Foster. And probably this whole New Zealand team. And it was the players that rallied around Ian Foster and kept him his job, by all accounts. And the redemption they're going to feel, having been written off, called the worst All Black team in history, and they could be world champions, when great teams in the past have not been world champions, like a legend like Jonah Lomu never won a World Cup. That'll be something very special, and that's a redemption story that's unfolding potentially in front of us. And for South Africa, well, what's on the line for them? Well, do you know the one thing that I've learnt, and I have a much greater appreciation of from chatting to South Africans during this World Cup, is that yes, the fans, the players, the nation wants to have won the most World Cups, want to have done what New Zealand did, back-to-back titles, won 50% of the tournaments that they've entered, and would be an unbelievable record. I get all that, and that's true. And as I said, the deep respect for New Zealand is why they really, really want to match that record and exceed that record. But I sort of knew, but I didn't appreciate fully until South Africans laid it out to me just what rugby means and rugby represents. And the one thing I've already talked about is that you can go to any rugby club in any country anywhere in the world and you'll find a warm welcome, and rugby's a unifying force. But no more is that the case than in South Africa, where rugby unites a nation, and we saw that 4 years ago, and it has that power, and it's something that the players carry on their shoulders. They take that responsibility, they recognise the power it can have, and that's just an incredible thing, isn't it? Isn't that an amazing thing? And in Siya Kolisi, they've got a leader who's the biggest name in our sport, the best ambassador that rugby has, and I think the world would be a better place if everyone just asked themselves, what would Siya Kolisi do? In any given situation, you could just ask yourself, what would Siya Kolisi do? And the world would be a better place. He's just an unbelievable human being, and a credit to the sport. And if I do stand and watch in the stadium Siya Kolisi lift the World Trophy for a second time, that is going to be, well, whatever happens tonight, it's going to be a memory I'll carry with me my lifetime. This is a bucket list day for any rugby fan, isn't it? But if it is to be Siya Kolisi picking up a the trophy for a second time, I know I'm watching something that's far, far bigger than rugby. And that's amazing as well. Paris is all right, isn't it? It's not bad. It's been a great World Cup here. It's had its critics, but I think overall it's been a fantastic tournament. It's been long. Could probably do with shaving a couple of weeks off it, but whether it's the action on the pitch, the action on the pitch, or the action on the piss in the pubs with the fans, you can't argue with it. It's been wild. So I think with that, I will sign off. I kind of really looking forward to getting home and don't want the World Cup to end, but end it will, and end it will tonight. And so let's just hope for a great game of rugby. May the best team win. May there be no controversy. May there be no injuries, and may rugby be the winner once again. And again, just to return to where I started at the start of the video, I cannot quite believe the last 7 weeks, and I'm so grateful for the support on the channel. So if I sound a little bit sentimental today, that's because, to be honest, it's because I am. I'll see you on the next one.